Good morning all. In our today's session, I am going to deliver a lecture on Young's double slit experiment. Actually, Young's double slit experiment was first practically demonstrated by Thomas Young in 1801. In 1801, Thomas Young practically demonstrated experiment on Young's double slit experiment. Why we need this Young's double slit experiment? To get interference pattern. To get interference pattern, we need Thomas Young's double slit experiment. Let us see how it will be and how it is going to make interference pattern. For that, what we have to do is, we have to initially consider a monochromatic source for light. For example, let us assume this as our bulb. This is producing monochromatic light. For that, I am assuming these rays as our monochromatic light. Monochromatic light. This is source. This is source for monochromatic light. Once the light rays travel in a medium, next what we have to do is, we have to consider a slit. Okay. For that, what we have is, let us assume this as slit. The slit should be very small. The gap of a slit has to be very small. Okay. The light rays are traveling in a medium, then it has to pass through this slit. Once this light rays is passed through this slit, then once again what we have here is another slit consisting of two slits. Here we have another two slits. Let us assume this as slit S1 and this as slit S2. Here we have one slit, and here what we have is another two slits. Let the distance between these two slits be D. Let us assume the distance between these two slits as D. Then what we have to do is, we have to draw a screen. Let us assume this as a screen. Here what we are getting is interference pattern. In this screen we are getting interference pattern. This is how Young demonstrated his interference pattern set. This is the set of a Thomas Young's double slit experiment. This is one slit, and here we have two slits. That's why we used to call this as Young's double slit experiment. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ monochromatic light. Monochromatic light ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, this should consisting of single wavelength or single color. ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ವೇವ್ಲೆಂತ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಂತದ್ನ ನಾವು ಮೊನೋಕ್ರೋಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದಾಗಿದ ನಂತರ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಒಂದು ರಟ್ಟನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಥಿಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಶೀಟ್ ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣದು ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ನ ನಾವು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ಮೊನೋಕ್ರೋಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಲೈಟ್ ನ ಇದ್ರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಹಾಯಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ದ ಲೈಟ್ ರೇಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಲಿಟ್, ದೆನ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹಿಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್. ಈ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಅದು ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಈ ಲೈಟ್ ರೇಸು ಇದ್ರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಬಂದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎರಡು ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ ಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಲೈಟ್ ರೇ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಬಿಹೇವ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಕೊಹರೆಂಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್. ನಾವು ಎನ್ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೊಹರೆಂಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದ ವೇವ್ ಶುಡ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಇನ್ phase. If the waves in phase and has same wavelength, then such type of waves are called as, or such type of sources are called as coherent sources. The rays coming at reach this point behaves as an coherent sources. ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ಸ್ ನ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಹರೆಂಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದು ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ ಇಂದ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ವೇವ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ ಇಂದ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ವೇವ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ವೇವ್ಸ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಇಂಪೋಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ದ ವೇವ್ಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟೂ ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಇಂಪೋಸ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ each other and we are obtaining interference pattern at our screen. How it will be? Let us see how the interference patterns will form. For example, if we have a dark fringe here, let us assume this as a dark fringe, and here we have another dark fringe. The gap between two dark fringes is nothing but bright fringe. The gap between two dark fringes is bright fringe. Here also we have a dark fringe. This is the interference pattern which we are obtaining at our screen. This is how it will be. This is a dark fringe, dark fringe, dark fringe, dark, 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 and in between dark fringes there will be, this is bright fringe, bright fringe, bright, bright, bright. Consecutively the bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark fringes will obtain. Why and how? That is more important. Why the dark fringes will obtain and how the dark fringes will obtain. I have already said in our yesterday's class how the bright and dark fringes will obtain. If the crest of a wave falls on a crest of another wave, or trough of a wave falls on a trough of another wave, we will get bright fringes. The intensity is maximum. That is nothing but constructive interference. Due to the case of constructive interference, we are getting bright fringes here. Due to the concept of destructive interference, we are getting dark fringes here. How dark fringes are obtaining? Because crest of a one wave falls on a trough of another wave, or trough of a one wave falls on a crest of another wave. Then only we are getting intensity minimum. The displacement of the waves is subtracted. Then what we will get is intensity minimum. That is nothing but dark fringes. Here we have dark fringes due to the concept of destructive interference. Bright fringes due to the concept of constructive interference. The width of these fringes has to be same. The width of a dark fringe has to be equal to the width of a bright fringe. Here, if we assume this as a width of a dark fringe and this as a width of a bright fringe, here width of a dark fringe has to be equal to width of a bright fringe, and the distance between these two fringes is called as fringe width. Okay, I'll explain that later. First, the width of a dark fringe has to be equal to the width of the bright fringe, and we are getting alternative bright dark. Here we have bright dark, bright dark, bright dark. How the interference pattern is obtaining? We are getting bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark. This is the pattern of our interference fringes. And the intensity of a bright fringes is same throughout the interference pattern. For example, the intensity of this particular region is same as the intensity of this bright fringe. This is our bright fringe, and this one is also our bright fringe, and this one is also our bright fringe. The intensity of all bright fringes is same in the case of interference pattern. And the another one is the intensity of a dark fringe is 0. Intensity of a dark fringe is 0. That is why we are getting dark fringes. Intensity is 0 means there is nothing but it is dark. If the intensity increases, the brightness of a interference pattern increases. Here the displacement of a waves is subtracting, that is why the intensity will become 0. The intensity of all bright fringes is same throughout the interference pattern. The width of a dark fringe is equal to width of the bright fringe, and we are getting alternatingly bright dark fringes. This is the pattern of interference fringes. And if you want to understand this interference pattern very clearly, for that what I am doing is I am going to consider this as our slit. Okay, here what we have is monochromatic light rays is traveling through this slit S. Okay, here we have a small gap. Let us assume this as a slit. Next, what we will get is, this is a wave. Actually, this is a cylindrical formation of a wave. Let us assume this line as crest of a wave and this dotted line as trough of a wave. Crest, trough, and here we have crest, and this is what we have is trough of a wave. If these waves is passed through two slits, this is S1, this is S2. If these two waves passed through the slit S1 and S2, what it will become? Again, here also what we are getting is crest and trough, crest and trough. This is how we are getting our monochromatic light sources is coming out of a slit S1 and S2, and slit S2 will be also like this. Okay, this is S1, this is S2. Look at this diagram very carefully. Wherever the light rays of crest of a wave is superposed with the crest of another wave, will obtain dark fringes. For example, this one. Here crest of one wave is incident on a crest of another wave. This is here in this particular point, trough of one wave is incident, superposed with the trough of another wave. Then what we will get here is bright fringe. Here what we have is bright fringe, and here what we have is trough of one wave is on the crest of another wave. Then we will get dark. And here also what we have is dark, and similarly bright dark fringes will obtain. This is how we are getting our interference pattern. But at the center it has to be bright fringe only. At the center of a slit S1 and S2, or the center of the screen, has to be bright fringe only. Why? Because the path difference or phase difference at the center of the screen is 0. Why? Because the path difference or phase difference at the center is equal to 0. That is why the center fringe has to be bright fringe, and Alternatingly, the left and right side of a bright fringe is dark fringe, and again we are getting bright fringe, dark fringe, bright fringe, dark fringe. This is how we are getting our interference pattern using Young's double slit experiment. And we have another concept called sustained interference or permanent interference. Sustained interference of a coherent sources. What is the meaning of sustained interference? Sustained interference means that is permanent interference. Permanent interference of a coherent sources. When we will get this is because due to the bright fringes and the dark fringes remain fixed on the screen. If the bright fringes and the dark fringes remain fixed on the screen is called as sustained interference or permanent interference. Once if we turn on the switch, then the interference pattern will obtain on the screen. Okay. If the fringes are permanent until the source is on, then we used to call such type of interference fringes are called as sustained or sustainable interference pattern. This is the overall concept of Young's double slit experiment. This may ask in your examination for 3 marks. Actually, this is also a very important concept of your wave optics chapter. Without knowing this concept, it is very hard to understand the concept of diffraction and interference. Actually, this is a main concept for diffraction and interference also. That is why I have explained this one. Okay, next, now we have to see what is the meaning of fringe width. Here what we have seen is bright and dark fringes. Here what we have to see is fringe. Actually, it is the difference between two consecutive bright fringes or dark fringes. For example, here what we have is dark fringe and here what we have is bright fringe. Now, the distance between two consecutive fringes, this is dark to dark, is what we known as fringe width or bright fringes, or we may consider this as bright fringes. Here we have bright fringe and here also we have bright fringe. The difference or the distance between two consecutive fringes, the distance between two consecutive dark fringes or distance between two consecutive bright fringes is known as fringe width. This is very important for 1 mark. This may ask in your examination for 1 mark. What is the meaning of fringe width? Actually, it is the distance between the two consecutive dark fringes or two consecutive bright fringes. But experimentally, while doing this experiment, it is very hard to locate the bright fringes. That is why we are going to assume dark fringes for the concept of fringe width. Actually, experimentally we do this by using dark fringes because bright fringes, it is very hard to locate the concept. Okay, that is why. This is what all about fringe width and Young's double slit experiment. And what we have to do is, there is another important derivation in this chapter, that is obtain an expression for interference fringes. Here what we have to do is, we have to obtain an expression for this fringe width. Okay, we have to obtain an expression for fringe width in Young's double slit experiment or using Young's double slit experiment. Obtain an expression for interference fringe width in Young's double slit experiment. This is what we are going to derive now. This is also very important in your examination point of view for 5 marks. This derivation may ask in your examination for 5 marks. What is the title of this derivation? Obtain an expression for interference fringe width. Interference fringe width. Obtain an expression for interference fringe width in Young's double slit experiment. In Young's double slit this is what we are going to derive right now. For that we have to assume a diagram. Okay, what is the diagram? What is the diagram which we have to consider is Young's double slit experiment diagram we should consider. For that what we have here is two slits. Here what we have here is two slit. Let us assume this as slit S1 and this as slit S2. And the distance between these two slits is called as D. Let us assume the distance between these two slits as D, small d, and the center of these two slits is called as Q. The center of these two slits is Q, and we have to assume a observer screen. Actually this is our observer screen or observation screen. This is observer screen. This is double slit. This is double slit screen and this is our observer screen. In this is actually the midpoint of a bright fringe. Here only we are getting our bright fringe. Let us assume this point as O. And the waves are traveling from these two slits has to meet at one particular point. Let us assume that point as P. Here we have one wave. And here we have another wave. Two waves is superposing at one point is called as point P. This is P, O, Q. And what we have to do is we have to draw an imaginary line from Q to P. This forms an angle theta. This forms an angle theta. This is S1P, this is S2P. S1P and S2P are the two light rays or two coherent light sources meeting at point P. And the distance between observer screen and double screen is considered as capital D. Let us assume the distance between double slit screen and the observer screen as capital D. And again what we have to do is we have to draw a perpendicular from S1 to S2P. From S1 to S2P will be like this. Actually this is the perpendicular what we have drawn in this diagram, and let us assume this as N. If we clearly observe this diagram, this S1P is equal to N. S1P is equal to NP, and here what we have here is S1N is perpendicular to S2P. S1N is perpendicular to S2P. Actually this is the full concept of our Young's double slit experiment to obtain the expression for interference fringe width. And this is the direction of a light ray. If it is ray optics or wave optics, we should show the direction of wave and in which particular direction it is traveling. That is more important. Now what we have to do is we have to derive the expression for fringe width using this experimental setup. Okay, let us see how we are going to do that. Next, initially there is a path difference between these two light rays. There is a path difference between these two light rays. What is that path difference? Actually, this is the path difference. Delta x. Let us assume that path difference as delta x. Because S1p is equal to NP, that we know that. But S2p is not equal to S1p. S2p is not equal to S1p in this diagram. So there is a path difference between S2p and S1p. What is that path difference? That is delta x, or we may call that as S2n. S2n is the path difference between these two light rays. This is delta x. Let us assume delta x as path difference. What is that path difference? That is S2n. S2n is our path difference. What is S2n? S2n is nothing but S2p divided by NP. Here S2n is nothing but S2p minus NP. If we subtract NP from S2p, what we will get is S2n. Then the path difference expression will be S2p minus NP. S2p minus NP is equal to S2n. But we know that S1p is equal to NP. We can substitute the value of S1p than NP. So S2p minus S1p is equal to, S1p is equal to S2n. You may consider NP as S1p. So this is the expression for path difference. Path difference delta x is equal to S2p minus S1p. Now what we have to do is we have to assume an equation for right angle triangles. Okay. Where are our right angle triangles and where we have that right angle triangle is most important. Here also we will get the angle theta. This is also angle theta, and here also we have angle theta. Let us assume this as equation 1. S2p and S1p as equation 1. Next, consider a right angle triangle S1, N, S2 or S2, S1, S2, N. First what we have to do is consider a right angle triangle N, S1, S2. N, S1, S2. If we consider this right angle triangle, what we will get is sin theta is equal to. What is the expression for sine function in trigonometry? Sin theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. If this is our angle, the opposite to that angle is opposite, and this is hypotenuse. This is slant height, or this is our hypotenuse. The slope is always called as hypotenuse. What is the expression for sin theta? Sin theta is equal to S2n divided by S1, S2. S2n divided by S1 into S2. Actually, this is our sin theta. What is the value of S2n? S2n is equal to delta x. Here what we have is S2n is equal to delta x. S1 into S1, S2 is equal to d. S1, S2 is equal to the distance between slit S1 and slit S2 is equal to d. Hence, sin theta has become delta x divided by d. Let us assume this as equation 2. Similarly, Consider a right angle triangle PQO. Once again, what I am doing is considering a right angle triangle. Consider a right angle triangle PQO. PQO. Here, what I am doing is I am considering tan function of a trigonometric equation. What is tan theta? Tan theta is equal to opposite divided by adjacent. In this diagram, opposite is this and adjacent is this one. We don't know what is this PO. Do we know that? Opposite divided by adjacent. Or we may consider this as the distance between center and the point of superposing is called as x. The distance between center O, center bright fringe, and the point of a superposition of these two waves is called as x. Then what it will be? PO divided by OP. That is opposite divided by adjacent. Opposite divided by adjacent. What is PO? PO is equal to x here. X and OQ is equal to capital D. Tan theta is equal to x divided by d. Let us assume this as equation 3. Let us assume this as equation 3. Now what we have to do is we have to consider a small angles in a trigonometric functions. What is the expression for small angles? For small angles, the values of sin theta and cos theta will be theta only. Okay, sorry. For small angles, sin theta and tan theta is equal to theta only. Because sin 0 is equal to 0. Okay, sin 0 is equal to 0. 0 is small angle, we know that. Sin 0 is equal to 0. This is theta. Theta is equal to theta only. Okay, for small angles, sin theta is equal to theta. We may consider like that. This is applicable for tan function also. Therefore, we are considering for small angles, this is not a very bigger one. Okay, in diagram we are getting some large angles, but practically it is not that very much longer. So these are all small angles. That is why what we have to do is we have to consider the angles formed in this diagram as small angles. For small angles, sin theta and tan theta will be equal to theta. Then what is this equation 2 and 3? Then equation 2 and 3 will become, what it will become? Equation 2 and 3, that is theta is equal to delta x divided by small d. This is sin theta. Sin theta has become theta. Theta is equal to delta x divided by d, and theta is equal to small x divided by capital D. Once if we consider for small angles of sin and tan theta, what we are getting is theta is equal to delta x divided by d and x divided by d. Now if we compare these two expressions, left hand side of the equation is same. So we can consider right hand side is also equal with each other. In this expression, left hand side theta is equal to equal. So we have to consider right hand side is also equal to each other. This is x is equal delta x divided by d is equal to x divided by capital D. Or we have to obtain the expression for x. That is x is equal to delta x into d divided by small d. Delta x into d into small d. Let us assume this as equation 4. X is equal to delta x into d divided by small d. This is equal to equation 4. Now what we have to do is we have to obtain the expression for nth fringe. Actually this is for first fringe. Okay, for first fringe this will be x is equal to delta x d divided by d. For nth bright from central fringe, this is equal to, I am going to rub this thing, or here there is no need of this diagram, I am going to rub this one only. Okay, actually we have gone through all the parts of the diagram, that is why I am going to rub this one. For nth bright fringe, from nth bright fringe from central bright fringe. For nth bright fringe from the central bright fringe, what it will become? X is equal to x naught for central bright fringe. X will become x naught. This is central bright fringe, and the path difference will be equal to delta x is equal to n into lambda. And path difference for nth bright fringe is equal to n lambda. We can see this in our last derivation, that is theory of interference. In our theory of interference concept, we have obtained the expression for bright fringes path differences, that is constructive interference. The condition for constructive interference case, the path differences is equal to n into lambda. If we substitute this, or this is xn, this is for nth bright fringe. For nth bright fringe, x will become xn. Xn is equal to, what is delta x? Delta x is equal to n into lambda into capital D divided by small d. This is our expression for nth bright fringe from central bright fringe. Here we had central bright fringe, and this is our nth bright fringe. From here to here, what is the expression? That is xn is equal to n lambda d divided by d. Let us assume this as equation 5. Now what we have to do is, we have to derive the expression for n plus 1th fringe. That is nothing but next fringe of nth fringe. That is for x plus, n plus 1th. This is nth fringe. Here what we are deriving is n plus 1th fringe. Then for nth fringe, the central bright fringe from n plus 1th fringe from a central bright fringe will be. Actually we have to write same as here only. For nth bright fringe from central bright fringe, that is x will become xn, and delta x has become n into lambda. For n plus 1th fringe, x has become x of n plus 1, this is n plus 1th fringe, and delta x has become n plus 1 into lambda, that's it. We have to substitute n plus 1 instead of n in the above expression. Then what will that expression will be? X n plus 1 is equal to n plus 1 into lambda into capital D divided by small d. Let us assume this as equation 6. And this is the expression for nth bright fringe. This is the expression for n plus 1th bright fringe. We can do this in the case of dark fringe also. For dark fringe, the path difference will change us. Okay, we have to write that path difference, and we can derive the same expression as it is. Here what we have done is, we have considered bright fringe, central bright fringe, and nth bright fringe, and the difference between that is equal to xn is equal to n lambda d divided by d, and the very next bright fringe is equal to n plus 1, that is n plus 1 lambda d divided by d. If we subtract these two, what we will get is fringe width. That we have to do. What is the fringe width in an Young's double slit experiment? That is the thing which we have to do. For that, what we have to do is we have to subtract equation 5 from equation 6. If we subtract equation 6, equation 5, what we will get is, that is xn plus 1 minus xn. Xn plus 1 minus xn is equal to xn plus 1 minus xn is equal to what? That is right hand side, n plus 1 lambda into capital D divided by small d minus n into lambda d divided by d. This is our expression on subtracting those two equations. Here what we have is xn plus 1 minus xn is nothing but beta. Let us assume xn plus 1 minus xn is equal to beta. Here what we have is n into lambda d divided by d. First what we have to do is lambda d into n divided by d. We have to consider that first. Okay. N into lambda d divided by d first, and 1 into lambda d divided by d. Here we have plus sign. For that what we have to do? Lambda into capital D divided by small d. Because we have n and plus 1. That is why we have two terms, n lambda d divided by d, lambda d divided by d. And here what we have is n lambda d divided by d. That is minus n lambda d divided by d. Here what we have is plus n lambda d divided by d. Here minus n lambda d divided by d. These two terms cancels with each other. And what is the remaining part? Beta is equal to lambda d divided by small d. This is the expression for fringe width in the case of Young's double slit experiment. Using Young's double slit experiment, we have to obtain the expression for interference fringe width. Here, this is beta. Beta is called as fringe width. Fringe width of two consecutive dark fringes or two consecutive bright fringes. Here what we have considered is two consecutive bright fringes. In the case of two consecutive bright fringes, we have got beta is equal to lambda into d divided by d. For the case of two consecutive dark fringes also, we have to get this expression only. Instead of path difference, we have to substitute the values of path difference of dark fringe. Then only we will get beta is equal to lambda into d divided by small d. There is another method to derive this expression, but that is not needed from your wave optics chapter. That is why I have derived this expression. This is also a very important concept from your exam point of view. This may ask for 5 marks in your examination. Please go through the derivation. If there is any doubt, please contact me.